Hello, everyone. My name is Healy Jones. I'm the head of marketing for OfficeDrop. We are an online digital filing system and document scanning service. We're very proud and excited to host this webinar series. Many of you already know of Josh Zirkle, who will be leading the presentation. Josh is a productivity strategist and a certified professional organizer. He's the founder of Custom Living Solution, which is the San Francisco Bay Area's leading productivity and organizing consulting firm. He was also the president of the San Francisco Bay Area chapter of the National Association of Professional Organizers. He specializes in helping entrepreneurs and small businesses find ways to gain control of their space, their time, their information, etc. Josh is also a well-known technology organizing expert. He has been featured in a lot of different both television and news and newspapers, including CBS News, ABC News, the San Francisco Chronicle, the San Francisco Examiner, Organize Magazine, and many, many others. He hosts a radio program on organizing. And Josh is a pretty organized guy, and his digital organization goes all the way down to making sure his MP3 collection is correctly tagged and organized. I think that this should be a great series, and I think this particular presentation is really exciting because he's talking about tools that you can use to master your own paperless office. We anticipate that at the end of this program we will take questions from the audience. We are also recording this, and we will be distributing it, a link to it afterwards. The link will probably be available early next week. It will take us a little over the weekend to basically produce the video and make sure the audio quality is good. But with that, I would like to turn everything over to Josh. Josh, welcome, and you have the floor.
Thanks so much, Healy, and thanks again to OfficeDrop for hosting, and thanks to all of you who have attended or are listening or watching the recording. I am super excited to talk about online tools and offline tools to master your paperless office because I'm really passionate about helping entrepreneurs and small businesses figure out ways to manage all of their stuff. And one of the things that people seem to have so much of is paper. And the truth is we live in a digital world. Even if we function offline, so much of our lives are spent working with our computers and our other digital devices that it's making more and more sense to get our information in as many streamlined systems as possible. And when we can take our offline stuff and get it online, that just makes our lives easier. So again, I'm really excited to talk about this topic with all of you. Now, last time, for those of you that attended, we talked about the process of getting started and the concepts behind going paperless. Today we're going to talk about some of the details. But before we do that, I'd like to share with you some of the work that I do. When I focus with clients on managing their productivity and their organizing strategies overall, we look at 7 key areas of productivity. First is planning, how they intend to approach and manage their different organizing and productivity projects. Pruning, which is weeding or editing through their belongings, whether that's paper or physical things in their space. Then we manage the space itself, so the storage, their desk, everything that lives around them in their work area to make sure that it's effective for them. And then, of course, we work with paper, helping them manage all the documents that come into their space that they need to manage once they're in there, and also the ones that are leaving. We also work with clients on technology, making sure that they have the right applications to do the different tasks that they need to do, and that things are working in ways that make sense for them, so their technology doesn't feel like a burden, which it often does. I also work with clients on managing their time. All of us have one finite resource, and that's our time. We're never going to get today back, so we have to make it count. And managing your time is essential, especially if you're working in the world of business and productivity. And then to make sure that everything stays on track, you need to have a schedule for maintaining all of your systems, making sure that all those systems that you spent your time and energy and effort putting into place keep up over time so that you can continue to use them and benefit them. So those are the 7 key areas that I focus with clients on. Today we'll be talking specifically about paper because all of us have it. And we're also going to be tying in the technology piece as well because we're going to be looking at tech tools to help you manage your paper. Let's review some of the reasons why you'd want to go paperless in the first place. Well, first, and probably one of the reasons why you're thinking of doing it, is because you'll have less paper. Paperless means there's less there. Having less paper can mean a reduction in amount of stress, can mean fewer things to deal with, and it means generally a clearer, cleaner, more streamlined workspace. When you don't see stacks of paper around, it can make you feel more at ease. Also, you won't have the paper clutter like we see on the desk with the giant X over it. You won't have that anymore when you go on a paperless solution. All of those overflowing boxes and drawers and bins and trays, those won't exist anymore when you choose a paperless solution. All of your documents will instead be in digital systems that make it easy for you to access all of your stuff without having things overflowing around you. If you choose a digital or paperless solution, you likely won't need a file cabinet, or maybe at least not as much file storage as before, especially if you're using a digital tool to create archives of the things that you use infrequently. You may be able to dramatically reduce the amount of paper that you need to store. I can give you a personal example with this. I recently moved into a new office late last year, and my goal was to have no paper come with me, or at least very, very little. So all of the documents that I had previously, about 3 file drawers worth, I had scanned and then shredded. When I moved, I didn't have to carry any of those giant banker's boxes with me to my new space. No additional cost incurred in moving a file cabinet, and no space taken up in my new office with files. It's pretty amazing when I have clients come to my office, and the only paper they see are the ones that I actually are working on my desk. It's impressive. Also, a benefit of going to a paperless or digital solution is that it supports the mobile work style. Many of us work from multiple spaces, whether we have a laptop and work sometimes from home and sometimes at the office, or maybe we take our computer and work at a coffee shop or at a client or vendor location. Having your documents with you wherever you go is very, very helpful and sometimes essential. And if you have a paperless solution, that means your documents will be accessible to you wherever you happen to be. You don't have to plan ahead and bring a bunch of documents with you. When they're stored online or stored on your computer, as long as you have access, you'll be able to get at your documents whenever you need them. You won't have to worry about, oh, I left that document at the office, or that paper's in my briefcase, which is in the car. Everything will be with you every time that you need it. Additionally, paperless solutions are more efficient. There's fewer opportunities for you to process and reprocess the same document over and over again. You're better able to share things with other people, and you can collaborate on documents in new ways that you can't if something is simply just a paper-based document. Finally, and this is important for me because Custom Living Solutions, the business that I own, is a registered and certified green business with San Francisco. When you go paperless, it's much more green. You may be able to actually have a beginning to end paperless solution where you never actually have a printed document in front of you for a given thing that you're working on. So it can reduce the amount of paper that you're storing, and it can also reduce the amount of paper that gets generated and printed in your office. A caveat. Going paperless does not mean that paper is going to leave your world entirely. It does mean that you'll reduce significantly the amount of papers that you have. However, it doesn't mean that they're going to go away. There will always be new stuff. Whether the mail comes in or you're out in the world meeting with a client or a vendor, new documents will definitely, I promise, still come in the door. So you still need to deal with them. You'll likely still print things out from time to time, whether it's a document that needs a client signature or a checklist that you want to give to a client or take with you on a job. You'll still definitely have mail that comes in. Even if you have a lot of your bills changed over to an electronic form, you'll still receive other things, catalogs, mailings, etc. So don't expect that when you choose a paperless or paper reduction or digital solution that magically paper will just go away. It doesn't happen that way. But you can significantly reduce the amount that you're both storing and processing when you choose a paperless solution. And the benefit is that you're going to have less to deal with, and it'll be easier, faster, and take up far less physical space when you have a digital solution. Some things that you'll want to keep in mind when choosing a paperless or digital tool to manage your papers. You don't want to have to rework your entire workflow or how you do things around how the tool is structured. You want it to fit really naturally with what you're already doing. Something I notice when I work with clients is the more they try to change their habits, especially if they're trying to change them dramatically, the less they tend to work. So what you want to do instead is figure out how you're currently working and then make sure that the tools that you choose support that rather than try to change it. You'll have a much greater level of success with things that support how you already do things. You also don't want to have to be an expert at organizing or a super technologically savvy computer user in order to use a digital tool. Ideally, it should be pretty simple to use anything that you're using on your computer. You don't have to spend hours and hours and hours with the help files or going through tutorials just to be able to access your documents that you've had scanned. So any tool that you choose should be really easy to use regardless of your skill level. Now, this is important. Any tool that you choose should accommodate the fact that you're still going to receive paper documents, in addition to digital documents that you might have created on your computer or that you might have received via email. A tool that accommodates just scanning documents or just electronic documents won't give you enough of a comprehensive way to manage all of your things. So you want to make sure that tools you choose can manage both your paper and your digital documents and get them into one combined system. You should have options for how your documents actually get into the system itself, whether that's sending them in via email or scanning them or taking a picture with your cell phone. You need to have an array of options for how you transfer your data, whether that's paper data or electronic data or something in between. You want to have choices for how it gets there because it won't always be just one way that you're going to send stuff in, and it won't always be just one type of document that you have. So you want to make sure that your tool can accommodate that type of flexibility. As I mentioned, it's important that your tool should be easy to use. It should also be easy for you to organize things as you see fit. You don't want to be limited to any sort of rigid categories or structures by the system itself. You want to be able to rename things, tag things, label and categorize as things make sense for you. In each business, our categories are different, and how we name things are different, and how we think about our documents is different. So you want to make sure that your tool can accommodate that. One of the great benefits of having things in a digital or paperless solution is that we're able to search for things. And just like we're used to searching for things on the internet, it's so awesome to be able to search for your documents in the same way. So you're going to want to make sure that any tool that you choose has robust features for searching and sorting your documents so that you don't have to dig through hundreds or thousands of electronic documents to find what you're looking for. Instead, you can do a search and narrow down the things that you're looking for. As I mentioned, one of the benefits of going paperless is that you're now able to have a more efficient solution where you're able to share and collaborate on your documents in ways that you never could when you had just paper. So you'll want to make sure that you're able to use the document storage solution that you've chosen to not just keep things for yourself, but share them with team members or other people outside of your organization if you so choose. Another benefit that I talked about is that going paperless supports the mobile work style. And for that reason, you want to make sure that any tool that you choose lets you access your stuff from ideally any web browser from any computer you happen to be on, whenever you happen to be there. Most of the tools that we're looking at, in fact, all of the ones that we're going to see today, let you do this. Not every paperless tool does that. So you want to make sure, you want to check that the tool that you're choosing will let you have access from wherever you happen to be whenever you need it. And this is really important, especially if you're choosing a service to store your documents. You'll want to make sure that your documents are secure, that you're comfortable with the level of security that the company has chosen for keeping your documents safe, and you want to make sure that they're backing up your things regularly. Since you won't have access on your local computer, that means things may not be stored on your local hard drive, you won't be able to back up your things unless you download each document individually or as a group. You'll want to make sure that you're comfortable with the level of backup solution that your hosted solution is offering you. You want to make sure that they're backing up regularly and that they have redundant servers, etc. So make sure you check on things like that and their security level before you make a choice with a paperless tool.